The letter in her suitcase, the rain whispered against the glass, a hushed secret shared between the city and the night. Clara stood in the dim glow of her apartment, surrounded by half-packed suitcases, their open mouths gaping with the remnants of a life she was ready to abandon. One more night, she told herself. Then I'm free. New York had been her home for a decade, 10 years of honking taxis, crowded subways, and a love that had once burned so fiercely, she thought it would last forever. But forever had ended 5 years ago, when Ethan walked away without explanation. She would leave too. Paris awaited her, a city of strangers where no memories could haunt her. She folded a cashmere sweater into her suitcase, her fingers brushing against something stiff beneath the fabric lining. Frowning, she tugged at the hidden object and envelope. Its edges softened with time, the paper carrying the faint scent of cedar and ink. Her breath caught. Ethan's handwriting. The sight of his looping script sent a jolt through her as if she'd touched a live wire. She hadn't seen his writing in years, hadn't allowed herself to remember the way he used to leave her notes on the fridge, little love letters tucked into her coat pockets. But this was different. The envelope was sealed, the paper slightly wrinkled as if it had been opened and refolded many times before being hidden away. Her hands trembled as she tore it open, her heart pounding so loudly she could hear nothing else. Inside was a single sheet of paper, the ink faded but still legible. Clara, if you're reading this, then I failed. I was supposed to give this to you in person to say these words out loud, but I was a coward. So instead, I'm leaving this where I hope you'll find it when you're ready. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I loved you too much to watch you bury your dreams from me. Sharp ache bloomed in her chest. She pressed a hand to her mouth, her vision blurring. Remember the night we met? Told me you wanted to travel the world, to write stories that made people feel something? You had fire in your eyes, Clara. But then I took that job in Chicago, and suddenly, you were talking about staying, about giving up your own plans to follow mine. Couldn't let you do that. I couldn't be the reason you looked back one day and regretted the life you didn't live. So I left. Not because I wanted to, but because I hoped you'd chase what you were meant for, without me holding you back. Wherever you are now, I hope you're happy. And if, by some miracle, you ever read this, know that I never stopped loving you, not for a single day. Always, Ethan. The letter slipped from her fingers, landing soundlessly on the floor. For 5 years, she had believed he had walked away without a care. She had built walls around her heart, convinced herself she was better off without him. But now she knew the truth. He had loved her enough to let her go. Sob rose in her throat. She pressed the heels of her hands against her eyes, but the tears came anyway, hot and relentless. Outside, the rain had softened to a mist, the city lights shimmering through the haze like distant stars. Her phone lay on the nightstand, silent and accusing. Call him, the thought was reckless, terrifying. What if he had moved on? What if he didn't want to hear from her after all this time? But what if he did? Her fingers moved before she could stop them, dialing the number she had sworn to forget. It rang once. Then hello. His voice was deeper than she remembered, rougher at the edges, but unmistakable. Her pulse roared in her ears. Ethan, she whispered, a sharp inhale. A silence so heavy she could feel it in her bones. Then softly, Clara. Just the way he said her name, like it was something precious and did her. She clutched the letter tighter, her breath coming in shallow gasps. I found your letter, she said, the one you left me. Another pause, then a quiet, disbelieving laugh. Took you long enough. Toot! I choked out a laugh of her own, swiping at her tears. I was angry. I know, he said, his voice softening. I hoped you'd read it sooner, but I guess some things they take time. The silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken words. Where are you now? She asked. Chicago. Still a pause. And you? Still in New York. She glanced at the suitcases, the plane ticket on her dresser. For one more night. Where are you going, Paris? A beat. Then always wanted to see Paris. There was something in his voice. A wistfulness. A question. Her heart stuttered. Ethan, she said slowly. Why did you hide the letter in my suitcase? Another silence. Then, so quiet she almost missed it, Because I hoped you'd find it before you left, because I wanted you to know, in case you still felt the same. Her breath caught. Outside, the rain had stopped. The city exhaled, the streets glistening under the streetlights. And Clara made a decision.